All right, guys, welcome back, and I hope you're ready to shoot the shit. We are lucky today. We get to
3.
shoot the shit with one of the most renowned coaches in the CPA, one of the most vocal, one of the most online coaches in the CPA as well. So I know you get a lot of attention like that. We are here with Amer the Hammer. Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for being here.
I was just going through your
controversial.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, but I didn't know. Like,
hey, say what you want. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
No, but controversial is a good thing because you know you're yourself. You're acting yourself. You're saying what you want from your mind, from your heart. People take it two ways. They take it, they understand you, or some don't. Every successful person is gonna. But every successful person is gonna go through that.
You can either take offense to it or you can take it how it is because he says it how it is.
Yo,
right?
and you know what?
Sure.
I'm like that a lot. And that's why I find myself drawn to him. That's why I always like your posts and comments and stuff. And that's why I was drawn to do a video too, just to kind of like get us going back and forth because we're a lot alike, and I know a lot of people. Yo, you have the most diehard fucking fans I've ever seen in my life, or clients, or friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, if you have at least 3 clients like that in your life, you're good. You don't need anything else.
I don't need to kill you, man.
Exactly. yeah, right? Yo, they go in. They go in.
He doesn't need to say a word. They already know.
You know, so, man. Just to get even started on that, man, just like congratulations on all your success on that too. Even I was just scrolling through your IG, like you've been popping shit for a long time, man, doing stuff a long time. As a upcoming coach, starting out coach, you know, I know that I've been to shows backstage and just see the crowds, the Team Amer crowds and all the groups together, and they're always placing well. How long you been in this shit? Tell us a little about yourself. How'd you get into coaching?
Yeah, so I initially was competing myself in WBFF before there was IFBB Men's Physique or IFBB Classic Physique or IFBB Bikini even. So, I mean, the best guys in the world at the time were there, like guys like Ronaldo Gary. They were doing WBFF and, pros, or even like Classic Physique pros. I competed against, AJ Ellison.
Yeah.
I beat him when we were competing. So that was in Kansas City, I believe. I think we competed in the same class, pretty sure. So that was when, like, that was the main thing before there was, IFBB in those categories, at least. It was just primarily bodybuilding, figure, fitness. And then, I did well in that, for what I wanted. And then it kind of just ran its course. I got what I wanted out of it personally, and I think the worst thing that you can do is continue to do something maybe because you're good at it or for other reasons other than, like, you're really passionate about it, So,
absolutely.
I lost the passion for competing, just because my mind was elsewhere. And whenever I get to that point in my life where I'm focused on more than one thing, I decide which one's more important and I let it go. Because the worst thing you can ever do is try to, catch 2 squirrels. You're going to catch none. So
I like that.
People have a pretty hard time, man. They have a very hard time, like, especially as you climb in something or get good at something, doors open for you and there's more opportunities. So you want to say yes. Naturally, especially, leader type people or people that chase success type of people, you want to say yes to things, but the more you say yes to things, the more you're saying no to the things that really matter. You only have so much energy or time, and
100%.
So I let go of it and I moved on. And even to this day, people say, why don't you compete again? And it's like, whenever I'm done with something, I don't look at it again. It's just
you
over.
feel like you just don't have that desire anymore, and you feel like you've put in like that kind of in the past and just taken all your efforts and put that into being the best coach that you can possibly be, right?
Yeah, or whatever it is, man. Like, I'm a very obsessive person about whatever I do, to the point where, like, the quote, we hear it all the time, like, you love something so much that you hate it. And, like, I've experienced that many times. You're just so emotionally invested into something that, when I would finish shows, for example, I was just so happy it was done, not because I'm the diet, not because any of those things. It's like my mind just obsesses over everything that I do, that it just, like, so draining after, 5 months of prep. You're just like, I just want to wake up and not think about today.
It's hard to juggle clients when you got all that going on, for sure, especially because you're spent mentally and then you're expected to help people and guide them to their goals. And I mean, it's like you could, like you said about energy, you end up being so invested in your own goals because you need it. You can't push the limits if you're, you know, trying to get ready for a show 50%.
How many shows have you done,
So-
Amer? In all the altogether?
Five. Yeah.
And then were you coaching when you started as well?
No, you know what? There was no real such thing as coaching the way it is today back then.
Yeah, I read that on one of your posts.
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't just like your buddy who was good, you know, like I used to, like who I used to, we used to train together all the time. He does IFBB shows now, or he was AJ Shakuri, you know him?
Yeah. AJ's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so we would train, you know, every day, and like, he'd look at me, I'd look at him. It's just kind of like, we're just buddies, you know, like, and then that's
Quick plug to Fit Now out in Ajax. They do a lot of good stuff out there once everything opens back up. You got your own gym too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not for training like people. It's just mostly like we film and we just meet people, and it's just kind of like
sick.
Yeah.
You have
That's
your
sick,
clients,
man.
obviously.
So
you run seminars out of there as well?
We were supposed to, like 2 weeks ago, the first one. Actually, we've done one last year, but the first like main one this year, and then obviously because of all this, it got canceled.
I mean, it's also a little bit of a party hub because you had you hosted New Year's there, right?
Was it New Year's? No, but Super Bowl.
Yo, I want to
Super
get into that because like you're very successful, man, and that's one of the things that I look up to you most about. Like Branden knows that about me. Like I really admire success. You know, I think everybody should be achieving success. But what year was it back then when you guys were competing? Like when you were starting?
I competed up until 2012. So from 2008 until 2012.
Yeah, that was before I got into bodybuilding. Yeah.
Where did that transformation happen where you went from competing to actually transitioning fully into becoming a coach? Like what was your thought process in going through with that?
So I was coaching people actually like my final year competing. I started coaching people. So in 2012, and then I did it for like a year and a half, and then I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. I said, forget it. Like to be quite honest with you, man, like it's very difficult for me because when people say they cheat on their diet or they have like, I never really understood that type of mentality. So when people were saying things, I was thinking, what the fuck are they talking about? Like,
why are you wasting your time?
That doesn't even exist in my mind. So I just assumed I was young too, right? So I just assumed everyone was like me. We assume the world thinks like we do, you know?
How old were you at this time?
24.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't.
But you're still young. You're still very young.
Yeah.
How old are you now? That was
31.
Yeah, you're my age.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Why am I always the oldest fuck in the room?
I'm always the youngest fuck in the room.
What the
I feel like I
hell?
was born yesterday whenever I'm in a room. So
Dude, when I was looking up on your shit,
Well,
I'm
dude,
35.
It takes time to experience success, man. You're never gonna find someone as experienced or successful as Amer or Jay Green at a young age. I mean, you don't get experience when you're fucking 21.
And not
You're
only
not gonna be an
that,
expert
too,
coach at 22.
it's like time that they've been spent working on their passion. Like, say Amer's younger than me, right? But he spent more time working on his passion than I have. Like, really, me and Branden were just talking about this the other day. Like, I've spent the last 15 years in IT, like doing like IT management and working because I work for a software development company. But anyways, I really admire that, man. You're like a fucking solid entrepreneur, dude. Like that's rock solid. Like, so when did you turn from helping friends to like Amer the coach, Amer the Hammer?
Yeah. So the first person I ever turned pro was in bodybuilding, and that was, to be honest with you, kind of just like luck. I was like, oh shit, I won a pro card. I didn't even know what that meant.
Who was it?
Tana, a woman, female bodybuilding.
Oh, cool.
So she won.
I know she is.
Masters and Open Miss Canada. And then
awesome.
I stopped after that, and I said so that would have been 2013. And then I stopped. I was like, man, I don't know. Like, this is not really what I cared to do, but that was because I was doing it wrong. You know, I was kind of just doing it the way other people wanted me to do it. Then I coached. Then I was just doing lifestyle. I was just working with people and, creating a lot of content and things like that. So then I met Shane, who came to me just to repair his, body, and I helped him get his metabolism, and he looked pretty good. He's like, hey, do you mind if I do a show? I'm like, sure, do it. He just jumped in a show. He won it, Stratford overall. And then he won. And then
This was OPA then, right?
Yeah. And then he came fifth at provincials, like 2 months later, which was June. And then there was nationals a month later, and I'm like, all right, let's go to Edmonton. And then, you know, we went to Edmonton. He turned pro there. And then you know how it is.
That's
like,
sick.
But you said something like this when you were kind of bashing me, like, which is cool.
I was not bashing you, man.
I don't mind, man. I don't mind. Say whatever you want. It's all good. But
that's how bad it was. Brandon signed out. He's like,
it's all good, man. Like, hey, you know, at least I can respect, you know, that you're open about things and you say things direct, because a lot
that's
of people,
you, man. I get that from you. That's the same way you are.
people don't do that. You know? So
it's more respectable to talk shit to someone's face than behind their back, even if it's good or bad, whatever it is.
Yo, that's
if
why
it's out there, it's out there, right?
That's why I put the keeping it real skit in there, because I heard you, or I saw online somewhere you have like a jiu-jitsu background or like a wrestling background. So in that skit, Darius, who would have been me, is keeping it real and gets his ass whooped in the club by the jiu-jitsu guy.
Well, I saw you do Taekwondo. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. My dad's in the
Okay. Your dad?
Yeah.
Yo, man, that same thing. My dad was instructor, WTF Taekwondo for Olympic students and stuff.
Oh,
so
nice.
all through school, all through, like, since I was in diapers, I was in a gi.
Add up and we'll go, man. Me and you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's got to be on live. We know that has to be on live. ITF or WTF?
ITF.
You guys can put that shit
then
on
don't worry.
pay-per-view.
That's a win for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just start placing bets.
No, yo, I'm with the shits, yo. I just gotta start stretching. I'm 212 now, so I'm light again, you know. I'm not like 240 anymore.
So, Amer, I got questions for you. Hold up. I gotta ask Amer some questions now. First off, when did you start lifting weights?
I was wrestling in high school, so I was already lifting there, and then I was playing football for Toronto.
But you were lifting geared towards wrestling, like to become a better wrestler.
For football, yeah.
Right. So that's kind of when you started in high school.
Yeah, like, and then 15.
Was it when you ended football that you were just weightlifting and realized you wanted to start competing a little bit?
So the picture he posted before, right, Jay, he posted a picture when I was like 17. I was playing football there.
Okay.
Right?
I'll clip it right here.
Yeah. So I was playing football there, and then I played football up until I was 19 for Toronto, and then so Thunder, and then I'm a competitive person, right? And I had nothing else to do, and I was in shape, so then I just decided, hey, let me try this, do a show. I didn't know what to expect because like there was no online at the time. That was about 2006 when I did it.
Right.
Sorry, 2008 I did it, but the internet, like Facebook, just came out in 2006. Same with YouTube, so there's no content.
Yeah.
So I go to a show and I was like, holy, like, you know, Valerio, I competed against him my first show.
Oh shit,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Shit, that's a while ago.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know Valerio, he's very popular in Ontario and in Canada. He's Jay Cutler's best friend, like real bros, bro.
Yeah, Big V.
So I was like, I was like 19 years old competing against this guy. I'm like, what am I doing here, man? Like, you know.
But it's good. I mean, it took balls to do that and go up there, and regardless of the outcome, you stuck to your gut, and that's what it's about. Okay. I did my first show at 21, man, and I got smoked in the open class. So
that brings me to the next question, and to kind of segue back to the video a little bit. You were competing in the open, right? Can we talk? We're shooting shit? Yeah. Okay, cool. You were competing in the open. You were competing. So there was no natural, no open at this time.
No.
So was everybody? It
was considered all natural. Where I started was Fame and then WBFF, but it was always natural. Like there was no guys. But
so have you used like stuff to help you get in shape at that time?
Never when I competed. After I competed, I did. So in 2015, that's when I first used anything.
Okay. After your shows, not for your shows.
Never during my shows. No.
So you competed naturally with WBFF.
Yeah.
Okay.
That takes balls.
So that kind of like makes like a little bit of question in the video. So either I misinterpreted it, and for those who don't know, I'm referring to Amer's YouTube video that he posted. I'll post it here about the eating disorder stuff. We'll get into that. But in the video, I paraphrased a moment where you said, so you took steroids to get abs. And I know you were just speaking in general terms, and for everybody who knows, yes, I grabbed that caption to kind of like roll with it and bring some more energy to the video, which it did. I didn't expect all the negative energy, but it got a lot of energy.
These troopers came after you.
Yeah, yo, man, they came out lynching. So when did you start experimenting with that kind of stuff?
In 2015, it would have been. So I did it for about a year and a half, and I never did it again after that.
Okay, so what was that? So why did you make that reference in your video?
What I was saying in my video was that just because you have abs doesn't mean you're healthy, because you could have taken steroids to get it.
Right.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
So what?
Right.
Ultimately, man, like I'm in a very different place in my life in the sense of even with how I want to look, right? Like my main priority with everything I do is my work, right? Like that's it. I
So
don't
you mean like you could take steroids now to get that body if you want, but that's not your decision? Is that kind of
Not as priority.
is that kind of what you meant?
No, not even that, because that's like that's me completely saying that if you take drugs, you're not a hard worker. So I don't say that either, you know. And listen, for the record, I'm not pro or anti anything. Like I'll get you in shape with or without drugs. I'll get you in shape with or without refeeds. Like I don't care. I don't favor anything.
Absolutely.
I have no bias to anything, man. Like I'm not one of these guys. It's like, oh, people that take steroids are losers. I think you got to be realistic too with a lot of things, right?
It depends what direction you want to go in, right?
Yeah. Like, but don't tell me you want to win Mr. Olympia and say you want to be natural. Like, I'm very honest with people. Like, listen,
right.
it's not gonna happen. You know.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah. Keep dreaming, right? But for me, I'm in a point where I don't have a lot of time to spend in the gym, and personally, it's not gonna do much for me if I do it. You know, it's not my goal to be bigger. Like, I'll show you a picture from when I competed and I was natural, and then after I competed, and you'll see like how different my physique looked, and you could post and see like how different I look in the two photos. And for me, I just didn't like how I felt.
When you were at what point did you not like how you feel?
Here, let me throw up a couple of those shots because you got a lot of stuff popping on Google.
Yeah, sure. I don't think like I could show you. I don't know if you could see it here, but if you can see on my phone. Can you see on my phone if I show you a picture? Yeah. You can see it.
Yeah, if it's put it close enough.
Yeah.
Here, let me know if you guys can see this too as well. Can you see these?
So here.
Yeah, we can see
I was
that.
competing, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so there, nothing. But then look at the difference when I did use stuff. Here.
So this fitness inside fitness shot, can you see this?
That's WBFF. So hold up, were you natural for this one?
For all my shows, I never took anything ever.
Oh,
You look great, man.
Yeah, that's
that's pretty impressive.
This is me.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Okay, yeah. I saw that picture come up too.
Shit.
How old were you?
This was a good transformation too. Have you seen this?
I was when I did what?
That one picture that
they you look like a stud there on the beach.
Yeah, I was
the one.
It's about 23, 24.
Okay,
there.
so my age then.
And then when I took something, I was 26.
Yes, Branden, at one point he was your age.
I saw you.
I
You've
swear
done a lot
to
of
God,
covers too.
Every episode, you guys make a joke about my age. It's not.
Well,
funny.
it's just too easy, man. It's just too easy.
You've done a lot of covers too. When was this cover?
Yeah, I've been on a lot of magazine covers, probably about 10 or 12. That one's in 2012, I think.
Oh, here's the picture that you were showing us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look great, man.
You look good, but let's see. You got any juiced up photos?
I'm 183 pounds there.
Okay, so when
you got any juiced up photos?
Yeah.
So when was this? This one's on bodybuilding.com.
Which one? So I was about 20. That would have been after my first show, like 20, 21 years old, something like that. 20 years old.
I'm trying to find one of your gear pics. Okay, here's
there.
Oh yeah,
Look at that.
That's a nice cycle right there.
But dude, you have pretty good genetics, man. Look at your waist. It's pretty like compared to your.
What's your
quads,
background?
You have that sweep.
Lebanese.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
He's got that Middle Eastern touch.
That picture is crazy.
That's sick.
That wasn't for anything. That was just I was probably 26 at the time. 27.
That was gonna be my next question, man. You looked great, and you finished competing naturally. What made you want to do some shit? What made you want to shoot some shit?
Yeah, afterwards.
Experiment.
I just wanted to try. I wanted to see. I wanted to experiment. There was
where you could take your body.
Yeah. I wanted to see what it would look. I always wondered. The reason, like a big reason why I never even did it when I was competing was because while I was competing, I was already at the upper limit of like my size relative to other guys anyways. So it wasn't going to give me any advantage to do it as I was competing. So it was like, it wasn't even a thought at the time.
Didn't you get your pro card though as WBFF?
Yeah.
And that was natural?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, shit.
everyone's supposed to be natural in WBFF.
Yeah, but supposed to be. You and I both know that's not the case. For the most part, I feel.
I actually think a lot of the guys were, man. I think a
At
lot
the
of
time?
A lot of the older guys, I think.
What
are.
now? What year was
More
this
so
when you got
back
the
then
pro
than
card?
now.
2011.
Well, and it's still respectable. I mean, I feel any natural athlete, not that it's unrespectable getting it unnatural, but it's that much harder. Your genetics don't come out to shine as much when you're natural.
So when did you come into the like OPA? This was before CPA. When did you start? When did you start in the OPA before you finished?
I never competed.
Never did any OPA shows at all. Yeah, because the shows that you probably did back then, you probably would have won a fucking pro card for now. Like,
well, I used to be good friends with Winston Roberts, and like he used to work at my gym, or he used to train people at my gym that I used to train at. Extreme
rest in peace, the legend.
Yeah.
On Brock Road, and he was, when I was my last year of WBFF, he was always telling me, man, like you need to do, like IFBB now is just starting for men's physique. You need to do that. And I was like, man, I'm done. He's like, bro, like you'll get a pro card if you do it. You know, he's like, look at the guys that are doing it, especially at the time, like the caliber wasn't that good, like 2011, 2012 in
it's like Aaron Legend times, and
yeah, not as good as now.
It wasn't good. It's just not what it is today, right? So you know, when people think about, oh, like you did whatever show, it's like, yeah, but it's all relative to what the time is, you know? Like
right.
Like, I can't say people were garbage back then. They were the best at the time.
That time.
Yeah, it was just a different look back then. Like it was less shoulders, less chest. It's much more like a
Michael Jordan versus LeBron. Who's better?
Jordan.
You'll get a different answer from everyone.
Yeah.
Well, we always say, like, you know, how would LeBron do if he was back then? He destroyed Jordan back then, but how would Jordan do if we brought him to today with today's?
But you'll never really know, right? You'll never really know.
He would play a different position.
It's the same question people always ask regarding Arnold. You know, Arnold was a champion then, but he get killed now. But it's like, yeah, the drugs are different. Everything, the nutrients were different. Everything was different.
Look, man, a winner is always going to win.
I know that exactly. If he had that mindset, which is him now, he would kill it because he still got that heart. Yeah, man.
If he had the assets that that we use today back then, I feel like it would be a whole different.
Like Amer said, it's all with the times, right?
Yeah.
So from all the athletes that you've coached, is there one that stands out to you that's like best genetics, best mindset, and they definitely would be like top level caliber, like Olympia caliber?
Julia.
Why?
Right now, I have a few.
She's great.
Very good, and have a very, very good athletes. And right now, I have actually reduced my workload. I'm just working with like a select, amount of people.
Creme de la creme.
Yeah, and
they get better. You can give them more service that way, right?
Yeah, I feel I do myself a disservice if I just work with people for the sake of working with people.
Yes.
Fair. Yeah.
I believe there are a lot easier ways for me to make money, and you know that too. Like if it's only money, so if I'm only gonna do it for the money and I'm not getting a whole lot out of working with the person, then I'd rather just make money in that time doing other things. But
I had this same argument with one of your attackers that were bullying me. So here he is for you. Here he's agreeing with what I said. There is passion involved. I was telling him, I was explaining how like I have a full-time job and I coach the limited amount of people that I coach, and I'm very selective with who I coach because it's my time, this is my personal time that I'm giving up.
Right.
But I do like it. It's rewarding. Like, look, me and Branden are like best friends now, and this all started because he was doing a show,
Yeah.
And he got so peeled and he did so well in the show. I felt like I won the show, So you get a personal attachment to it, and it's rewarding. If you're coaching 300 people, there's no possible way you can get that exact feeling with all of them. Unless you're full-time, or like maybe if you have the time. Yeah, if you have the time.
For 5-6 years. Like it's pretty much been full-time. But even still, man, like
it's hard to distribute your time and energy to everybody properly, right?
But he did it well, because even when I see him at shows with like 10, 14, 15 people, they would all place. they will all do well in their places.
So I have a question for Amer actually. So what's the most like clients you've had that have competed together at one show, and like what was the outcome with that? Like all at one show?
I've had a bunch, man. I've had probably 10 people in a single show, 11, 12 people.
Well, that's quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hold on. So, Amer, is that just under your eyes, or do you have like someone else?
Yeah, because I know now.
Okay.
I know now that you have like a bunch of other people that are working kind of underneath you and coaching. So, like, have you recently like started doing that, or is that something you've always kind of done?
Well, that's where a lot of, why I don't coach as many people anymore is we have 19 employees in our business, right? So,
Okay.
Wow.
So,
Good.
This is why I want to shoot the shit with Amer. I want to shoot the shit with his business mind. I know he can get people in shape. I know he knows how to do all of that. Come on, we've seen it.
Yeah.
So when you say you have 19 employees, these are 19 coaches that I guess you have under you, and like how many total clients do you guys have? That's insane.
So some of them aren't coaches. Some of them do like admin and things like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coaches, I think we have 15, right? And that's distributed through our different brands. So some of the brands, Lady the F Up, Hammer Fitness Lifestyle, Hammer Fitness, they're different brands, obviously targeted to different types of people based on the market, and your branding has to coincide with the market that you're trying to target.
Absolutely.
I have no visual presence in Lady the F Up. It's just I'm in the market. I don't suit
like
it.
a subsidiary, yeah.
And I don't want those people affiliated and for their best interest too, and for the best interest of our other brands, right? Because if you don't want to saturate one brand with the wrong kind of person.
Brandon's the smart guy right here.
So hold on. So do you have like certain clients of yours that are running Lady the F Up that are not involved in other things?
So my sister owns a percentage of the business, and
Family man.
Lexi has shares in the business as well. So
cool.
I mean, they're doing very, very well. They have.
Wait, who's Lexi?
She does a lot of our business admin, and she does a lot of like our back end logistics, and she's like head coach as well for Lady F Up. She's phenomenal.
Shout out to Lexi.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amer, you have several, females that are coaches. I know you have Julia. Now, recently, you have Jen.
How are you?
Hold up, Jay. Chill out for a second.
Amer's got me excited, man. There's so much I want to ask this guy.
Hold on. So you have, and I feel like you have Shane covering the classic physique aspect, probably some of the physique guys. Do you have anyone like bodybuilding coaches, or do you kind of just cover that yourself?
No, you know what, man? 85% of our business is actually lifestyle, believe it or not. I believe it. I'm the main one that had like the majority of the prep clients. So that I'm not a big percentage, of the clients I have. But between them, some of our coaches have, 50 lifestyle clients. Right.
But you overlook everybody, like all of your coaches' clients, or no?
Their lifestyle clients? No, nothing.
But they're coaching.
We have and that's where it's like a flow in our business. So I have people manage the coaches, and they manage the segments of the business. And then I communicate with Lexi, I communicate with Rima, I communicate, and so that the consistency in what we do is always there. The understanding of the business and the direction is always there, but I can't be, giving my time to, I just don't have the time to give equally to everyone. And
yeah, of course.
You have to selectively pick and choose with where you spend most of your time, right?
And really to scale a business, it has to have the proper infrastructure that can hold it, whether it's from front end, back end, how you intake clients, how you onboard clients, accounting, like every part of the business has to be so systematic.
Yeah.
That you could put an 8-year-old in the business and they can't mess it up. And
wait. Hold on. 2 questions. I got to come back because it's a 2-part question. Sure. First part, how are you guys handling COVID with your clients? Is everybody training? You had to put some stuff on hold?
Yeah, we navigate really well, man. And that's where my role in our businesses and my main responsibility is if you look at Apple, for example, Steve Jobs, he's very creative. He was very, excellent at being a forward thinker in the brand, but he wasn't the computer guy. He knows nothing about computers, So I have people that understand the elements of my business that I don't, but I have a I'm very good at understanding the landscape and what needs to be done, and how to provide the best.
God damn it! I fucking love this show, Mike. I love this show. The last one that we had, while I was editing it, before I was editing, I couldn't stop thinking about the conversations. They're just so good. Like this is a piece of Amer that we don't get, that people don't get. We
that you don't see, right?
100%.
Yeah. Where'd you get your business background?
I have, I work with some clients who are just like good friends of mine, man, that, are very successful in their work, and I learn a lot from them. And honestly, just a lot of trial and error. One thing about me, I think my best quality and what makes me constantly progress is that I don't attach my failures to who I am as a person. And I think that gets to a lot of people, the fear of failing, or when they fail, they get down. I
like that, man. That's
writing
good.
that shit down
That's
right
good.
now. I'm writing that shit down right now. Take notes.
Everybody watching the video, take some notes.
That's good,
you
man.
criticize me and say, like, again, I don't mind it because it's part of it. Like, to be quite honest with you, after you made some comments, I was like, you know what? He said some dumb shit, right? Like, that wasn't true.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But I actually said to myself, this guy's, there's some truth to what he's saying. So, I better smarten my ass up too, and not, I am slacking to a degree. And so,
hey, I noticed your shit picked up after my video. I noticed the workouts picked up, the energy picked up.
And
then,
then
I love that, man. I love
lines.
that. We feed off each other. Because, bro, I watch your success, and I'm like, man, I need to get my shit together. And I know people that watch me, and they're like, dude, you work, you have a family, you do this, you do that. And I'm like, yeah, but Amer's crushing it. Yeah, but Regan's got like 3 businesses going,
Yeah.
And so I love social media for that, and I hope everybody can get that and feed off of each other and grow with each other, and not just look for the negative.
People take it personally.
You can take it one way or another. You can take it and use it to help motivate you and be better, or you can take it as like offense.
Yeah. It's like,
and
poor
I feel
me.
like it's
Amer had this, Amer had that, but I don't have what Amer has.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's got to realize everyone's hit a point where it's like, fight or flight. You're either gonna sink or you're gonna float, and you got to make that decision, because everyone faces fucking bullshit. And I think the sooner people realize that, the sooner they can relate with my success, Amer's success, your guys' success, anyone who's tasted success.
See, he
comes at a
Branden.
cost.
Did you see?
No, I said you guys. I said you guys.
I'm just joking.
Because he has a college diploma. Everyone, I believe, is tasted success to an extent.
Brandon's also a Police Foundations graduate.
Yeah,
he's also top 5
course.
trainer in Durham. We just bust his balls.
He's a panty dropper. Valentine. He's
out of here. Brandon's our pretty boy. Our show pretty boy. We need, because me and Mike are ugly as shit, right? So we gotta have Branden in there. So the Flyers look half decent. Yeah.
I just got the legs, man. Everything else is all bad.
The ugly guys at the top, and then they got the pretty boys at the bottom. I think that's what's going on.
You guys are killing me here.
So Amer, where at what point did you where did the whole hammer thing come in? Is it just because it rhymes with your name, or is it because you're known for dropping the hammer on people?
Actually, people were calling me that when I played football.
Oh, okay. So it's a football thing.
What position did you play?
I played D end.
Okay, that's why. He's a corner.
Are you tall? Are you a taller guy?
I'm about 5'11" and a half, 6 foot.
Okay, that's pretty tall.
So hold on, back to that. I'm curious. Back to this.
So you got the long legs. I got to sidestep you, right?
Very.
That's Taekwondo talk.
When I played football, I played with a lot of Jamaican guys, and a lot of Jamaicans say my name is Hammer.
Yeah,
you're
Ama.
Yeah.
Ama.
Yeah. So then people started calling me that, like the white guys on the team were saying Hammer because they thought that's what my name was. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but he's Lebanese, right? So he's gonna relate more with the Jamaicans, bro. Ama.
I like that. That's cool. That's cool.
I like it. Yeah.
But it's funny because it so happens to work.
It flows. Yeah,
with the bodybuilding and coach thing, because I feel like you've kind of earned that reputation of also being direct, straight up, and sometimes harsh for people who aren't focused enough. Most of the time.
All the time.
We don't experience Amer like this. Like, I never knew this side, obviously, because I guess you don't portray on social media your accolades so much, which is genuine, and and great, but it's cool to see this part. And I obviously never would have known the whole hammer thing. I just thought because you drop hammers on people and you're strict as fuck, which is great. I mean, I respect that. I love that. I'm all about that die-hard, strict warrior mentality.
Yeah. So Amer's good with the Jamaicans. If you're a Jamaican, yo link up Amer. He's a madman, all right? Yo, are you single? No, you're single. No, you have a girl? You single?
I'm single, yeah.
Okay, so Jamaican girls, all are Amer, right? He's ready to drop the Amer.
But dude, it's funny because I find like, when you're in a relationship, sometimes it can work for you or somewhat against you. It really depends on your partner, because I know, Amer, you could probably testify to this. When you're so focused and driven and all your energy is going into your business, sometimes having a relationship could be a sidestep instead of a step forward. I mean, it obviously comes down to who you're dating, and sometimes having that queen behind you could push you forward, but that really takes the right person in order to do so.
Absolutely.
It's a very specific person, man, and I think you know, a lot of people don't like when I say this, but I believe you got to treat that like a business partnership too.
Absolutely, man.
For sure.
You got to know what you need, what the other person's giving, and what you're gonna give, and it has to be true, not based on feeling, but strictly feeling. If you base it strictly on feeling, feelings change. Emotions change.
You can get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. And then you overlook a lot of things that really matter to you. So you need, you got to identify what's the most important thing to me, and then does that person complement that, and do I compliment them in those ways? And I think, it's better to be alone than it is to be with the wrong person, right?
100%.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna ask.
Because it'll pull you back, right? And
you're not getting dates from me. I'm not a guy that's gonna take you on a date every Friday night. I'm not that typical boyfriend. I'm just never gonna be that. I'm not gonna pretend to be that for 3 months. They like you, and then 3 months later, you're like, "Whoa, what happened to you? You changed." And so, it's like a lot of people.
It is what it is from day one, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Are your businesses kind of like your relationship?
Yeah. I mean, the energy and effort I put into it, is a lot. It's ongoing. It's never ending. So I don't even know how many hours I put into it, right? And that's why you got to love what you do, because logically it makes no sense to put that much time into something. It just doesn't make sense. So you got to.
Being an entrepreneur, it's always like that as an entrepreneur, and again, you could testify because you put all these countless hours in, but it requires that to have that success, but it'll never pay like hourly, but down the road, and I'm sure you're at that point probably right now where you're really starting to see everything unfold.
You really dictate your own success at that point too, right? Like you decide how much you want to put in and how much you're going to get.
He's got like an immigrant mindset, man. He's going for it. He's hungry.
I come from being so poor, man, we were just so poor. And so my dad is my stepdad, who's Taekwondo master. But like, so my
mom. It's my stepdad too. I don't say that. I don't use stepdad.
You guys are like distant brothers.
Yeah. I know.
Like stepbrothers almost.
But that's why we butt, right? Because we're so much alike.
That's why you guys need to fight, and we got to play some bets. You know what I mean?
End it, guy.
I got my money on Amer.
Yo, bad bet, bro.
Next episode of the podcast would just be a fight.
Yeah. How many siblings?
Supplements designed by an IFBB Pro, holistic nutritionist and veteran. Our 360 quality assurance system ensures you get fully dosed supplements that work. Whether your goal is to build muscle, burn fat, enhance strength, or extend endurance, we've got what you need. This is an army of iron warriors. This is the AG Army. Join us and wage war on your genetics. AGArmy.com. Field tested, science proven, advanced genetics.
I have two brothers and a sister.
Two brothers and a sister, and so what? And your parents came here, and then had you guys all here, or you guys?
And then like my dad wasn't ever in my life. After I was probably 6 years old. So my mom was just raising us. So me, my brother, and my sister, because my mom got remarried after. But
this is why you get along with the Jamaicans.
Yeah,
you relate, bro.
Yeah, I can't make certain jokes, you guys.
Yeah. Yo, he's
Well,
still
Jay-
dropping
Jay
the
made it,
hammer.
basically.
He's
Yeah,
being
Jay-
modest. That's the Lebanese side. He's being modest. The hammer's getting dropped, all right?
You know, listen, man, when you come from being poor or come from having nothing, like there's no, I don't know. I don't even consider myself successful now, you know, like I just never do. It's not, I don't think that way. I'm not like, oh, I'm successful. I'm better than people. Like I'm actually a very quiet person. And that's why some people think, oh, he's arrogant, but I don't say much, you know, and then like, I'm an asshole too. It's not even being an asshole. I'm just honest to my clients and very transparent. And then people may interpret that wrong, but
Right.
Otherwise I'm actually very, very introverted, which then makes people maybe think I'm different than I am, but it's just, you know, it's even insecurities, man. Like I never think what I do is good enough. I never think I'm successful enough. And, you know, that's what drives me to just keep working. So, you know, you were saying earlier, like, you know, you look up to those sorts of things, you know, maybe that I'm successful or how do you get there? What age? Like I look at it, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm 31 and I'm a failure, you know? So it's normal anyway.
But that's only motivation for you to work harder and to do better, right?
Yeah.
But you know, you like your
Not complacent.
You are
like
far from a failure, bro. Let me tell you that.
No,
a
of
lot
course.
of people
But
looking
you
up
like,
to you.
dude, you like that fire under your own ass, which is why you're successful, because you keep chasing your own shadow almost, and that's gonna continue to help you with success. I guarantee you, if we were to come back on the podcast in 5 years, you'd say my book got dropped, which we're also gonna talk about. And you
that's
more
dope.
businesses.
See, yo, this guy's lit.
But you know, man, I have to create. That's why I like when people like Jay say those kind of things to me too, because like I have to, you know, sometimes like I need some more motivation. I have to tell myself stories too. Like I'm not good enough. I need to be better. You know, like when I used to diet for like what that picture you showed when after I competed and I was on gear, like Shane would tell me, he's like, holy shit, you're shredded. I'm like, buddy, don't ever talk to me again. I don't want to hear it.
Unless you're telling me I'm fat, I don't want to hear it.
And this guy's like, holy, I can't understand. Getting mad at me for telling me he looks good. I'm like, I don't want to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the book, man. I feel like we kind of naturally went in that direction, so the energy will continue to flow.
Yeah, are you writing it? Like, are you actually writing it, or are you like recording audio and someone typing it out? Or?
No, I write myself. I actually wrote it. I started writing it in 2017. I wrote it 3 times, pretty much. I've done.
So you went back to rewrite it? Is that what you're saying?
3 times, yeah.
Wow.
I wrote each time probably between like 120,000 to 160,000 words.
Would you lose it? Did you lose all the data?
No, it's just there's a certain flow that like it's not about money, obviously, you know, like that's a lot of time to spend to make probably not that much money. You know, even the best authors in the world don't make much off of it, but like it's to me that's providing all of my thoughts in an organized and structured way that it's actually going to help people understand and to actually help people to impact their lives, man. I'm
going to read it.
And I think
sure.
And I think I have a very unique perspective on what I'm talking about, and I think that a lot of people can resonate with it. So I don't want to just put it out just to say I put a book out. You know, I don't want to do things for the sake of doing them. I want to do them because I do them right, and you know, from
quality.
That's what I just said on my IG the other day. I said everything you're doing, do it as great as you can, or don't fucking do it. Just why?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, because it also has a direct, like not shadow, but has a direct projection of Amer as a person. When you come out with a book, the quality is going to represent him as a person. And again, so far we've seen everything quality, so I have no doubt that will be nothing short of that.
I liked Amer before, but I'm a fan of Amer now. Like, I'm an Amer fan.
I like the
modest I watch his YouTube, bro. I like your YouTube videos. Sometimes they get long, but
I think the one thing I actually do like about you is the fact that you're successful, but you're so modest about it, and people interpret it in so many different ways. Like, oh, he's arrogant, he's this, he's that. Fuck what people think, and you just kind of do your thing, and I try to be the same way. So I definitely
one thing I like about Amer, especially like his IG, I'll put it up, is just like you're not always just pushing coaching. Like a lot of coaches, like every fucking post, they're just pushing coach. Look at this trend.
And it's too much. It's too much.
He's funny, man. He posts like some troll shit. He'll post like memes, or like if there's something going on in politics, he'll post about that too. Like I really like that.
Something I can really relate to is like I feel everything you post has a meaning, and you're always trying to be positive and push people in a positive direction. And is that kind of how you got into your motivational speaking?
Yeah, I think you naturally fall into certain roles in your life too, right? And I as I was saying earlier, like some people may interpret what I say sometimes as bad, but my intent is always, to help people become better.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of times people aren't ready
To hear it.
And
Yes.
6 months after, people will come back and say, oh, thank you for saying that. But I was saying what was difficult for people, and
Yes.
sometimes when we say things and the most difficult things are the right things, and people don't want to hear, they're just not ready to hear it, potentially. But I'm not looking at what today looks like. I'm not looking at, just trying to say things to make today better, even if
Yes.
it's uncomfortable today or it causes some pain.
About benefiting the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
So what was the driving factor in why you decided to write a book? Like what was your why?
I just think that my thoughts and my ideology for certain things in life and for, becoming successful, I believe in what I do and I believe in how I think, and I wanted to just really structure it in a way that people can understand instead of, it's fragmented and people absorbing it in different ways. And when you absorb it in different ways, you misinterpret it a lot of times because you don't understand the full context of everything that I'm saying.
Right.
Makes sense.
What really, with the fact you're writing a book is crazy, but something I could really try to strive towards is the motivational speaking, because I have that fire in me, but I feel like you actually, thinking it and wanting to do it and doing it is two totally different things. And, you and I both know that. So I would love to come to the next one if you plan on doing one. How many have you done so far? Like, I just see, on Instagram and I'm like, man, this guy is, serious. This is sick.
Yeah,
That's it.
You're changing people's lives, man.
Yeah.
Like, I got into social work for that reason because I just fucking love helping people.
Thank you. Yeah.
That really drew me to that.
Yeah, I've done 3 under my own brand. So we had, like, the first one I did, I had like 100 people come. The second one I had like 200. The third one I
Holy
had
shit, that's sick.
350
That's sick.
people, and I was like, man, like, whoa. The first one I did, I was like, holy shit, what am I talking about?
Dude, but you probably were you surprised at all the amount of love you received from people and the people that showed up just to hear your words?
The first one, honestly, yes, because it's just kind of like a thing I put together, and I was like, let me try it.
Yeah. You're like, holy shit, that's a lot of people.
And then I realized that I actually think I'm a lot better at that than I am at coaching, and I'm a lot better at that than anything else I've ever done. I just haven't applied myself fully to it. But it's kind of something I'm more natural at than other things, and something that I'm very passionate about. So it's also built off of everything else I've done too.
Yeah. It's just the right point in time for you.
Were you always?
There's a lot of people that want to do it, and they don't really like everything I've done leads me to where I am today, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I managed a restaurant when I was 18 years old, 19, 20. I was managing a restaurant, and then that helped me get good at understanding business, which helps me today. And then being good in my business and working with so many people, clients and employees, that helped me understand people, which helps me at the speaking. So
yes.
Something people don't realize, man, is they're always in a rush to get to the next place. They're in a rush to do what's next, but they haven't fully mastered what's in front of them today. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is good at whatever he does because he does it to the fullest degree and then moves on to the next.
Yes.
Right?
Closes a chapter and goes to the next, for sure.
You're a very good speaker, very well spoken. My sister-in-law is a speech pathologist, so I noticed these things. It's not common that someone with a lisp becomes an open public speaker and becomes someone that does speaking seminars. It's not common for someone with a lisp to even do well in school because they usually have a self-confidence about that. Were you always confident with it? Did you work with someone? Like, how did you speak very well?
You know what? Someone actually mentioned to me probably 2 months ago, they're like, I noticed over time it got less and less, my lisp, right? And then I was watching things and I was like, wow, it actually did. And that I guess it's just practice and probably being more confident.
For sure.
You're not confident in something, you amplify what you're not confident about. Like if you're on stage and you're insecure about your legs, like you're probably going to show your insecurity
more
because you're like, I give up, you surrender. You're like, just fucking look at my legs. Like, like look at my shitty legs. But like someone that's confident typically shows their insecurity less, or we see it less because they're just,
you don't project it.
They're
as
not
much.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've never had any, you've just always been confident with it, just never had any help with it or anything
never
like that?
had a speech coach. I was actually going to hire one for my last one. The timing just wasn't right, but that's actually something I actually want to do that. It's not something I think, oh, I'm great at speaking.
No, man, I think you should
Yeah.
chill.
Dude, I think you
it's
own
a
it, dude.
statement.
It makes you
it's
who you
a
are.
statement.
It makes you
Yo,
who you
remember
are.
when Bumstead did that shirt and it said Savage?
Yeah.
Yo,
That's
that's
so
the shit.
sick.
That's what I'm
I
talking
like
about.
that.
It's
Who you
sold
are.
out right away
Owning
because
owning
people need that confidence to be themselves, to
But
own.
it's also the fact they could relate, dude. Like they go up there and they see you're perfectly imperfect.
Yeah,
You're perfectly imperfect.
that's a
and
perfect
it's
way
more
to
of
put
a-
it. Yeah,
They could relate. If you go up there, dude, and you're just like, you know, you feel so established, like they can't connect to you and touch you and grab you. It's not relatable. But here you
Yeah,
come,
for
you know,
sure.
you were poor. You know, now you have a lisp, but not that it's like a handicap or a crutch, but it's just more relatable. People could understand and relate.
It just
like,
makes
not only
you
that he
who
has a
you
list,
are.
he's
I
a
could do
public
it.
speaker.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
he's not up there like Gary Vee. Like
yeah.
like Gary Vee. It's like I love him, but I can't totally relate
Yeah, I
because
know
he's
what you
on
mean.
such another level. Like it's just not. I can't. You know, it's like maybe in 10 years when I have $1 million under my belt, then I could say I could relate more.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
I feel like with you, and especially in the bodybuilding
For sure.
industry, you're like a text away or a DM away, and you're very in tune with everything. So, like for me,
Absolutely.
that's what kind of even drew me for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, did you guys want to get into the questions soon?
Yeah, hold up.
thanks, Branden. No, we have to.
let-
Okay,
let-
we'll finish shoot it. We'll shoot it up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that Amer's got a lot of questions from people that we're
We're
asking.
gonna get into it. Let the man
All right.
speak.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say one last thing about that, and this is true, you know, like for all of us, man. Like, there's things that you guys will beat me in, there's things I'll beat you in. And it's like, you can't be perfect at everything, you know, and you have to recognize in life that like it depends what the most important thing is like how you measure your success. You know?
Yes.
Like, am I measuring my success on how I speak, or am I measuring my success on the impact I have on people? You know, it's like some guys in fitness, like Jay may say to me, "Oh, my physique's better than yours," you know, which you've said. So,
This guy.
why-
He
but
came
why-
right at me. Okay, how you look is a direct explanation or a direct example of your metabolism.
Yeah,
You know,
but what I'm saying is like we can measure that a million ways. Like I could say to you, well, like let's measure how fast we can run, or let's measure how high.
I'm Jamaican, bro. I'm Jamaican.
It's an example.
I think I'm more Jamaican. Don't worry.
I got you though. I feel you. Yeah.
It just and that's what I always say to people. Like maybe you have more success in one area, but why are we measuring it based on that? Let's measure everything in life. You know, if we're going to measure things, like let's take everything into account. Let's take, you know, education. Let's take, you know, happiness. Like, so you can't compare any.
Happiness is a big
Happiness
one,
is number one, man.
That's a 90% right there.
Happiness is number one.
I'd rather be a janitor and be happy making barely ends meet than making $1 million a year and being fucking miserable.
Well, you spend most of your time at work anyway, so you might as well do something you love, right?
Yeah.
Well, we should all learn from this in our generation. One of the richest people in our generation was Steve Jobs. And in his last moments, he was willing to give up every fucking dollar, every asset, just for another day to be with his family. So that's one thing in our generation that we have as an example. And we should all try to learn from, you know.
Money doesn't buy happiness.
Life is really short. Yeah, exactly. It does not.
But Branden is right, and it's not.
Okay, let's get into
because we'll shoot the shit with Amer all night.
Honestly, we could talk all day long, but
I can feel it in my bones.
I'm gonna pull up my phone here, and we'll get into some questions. Let me pull that up now. Okay, so it's on Mike's page, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
while you're looking,
I'm ready.
I'm gonna ask Amer a quick question. Hold on.
Okay, quick question.
So your studio, is that for clients or for friends, or like do you sell memberships?
That's what I want. I want to get to that. That's just your shit, right?
Or anything like that. It's just private. Honestly, man, it's just my space. You know, like I do my work.
So it's not for the
living
public.
the life.
It's just for you and I guess if your client, if you want to bring someone in, you do so.
You could have a sleepover there if you want. You can do whatever you want.
Well, we're
Clubhouse.
You're coming to the next party we have.
Yo, I'm in. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. Amer, you got to run me through that back session still, man. I know we talked about it for a long
Yeah,
time.
I would love to, man. I would love
When
Yo,
this
I'm
is
coming.
over-
You guys aren't doing workout without me. There's less than 5 people,
Yo,
then
but-
we're good. We can do it right now.
It's gonna be die hard though, man. It's gonna be like fucking.
Yo, I'm in. I'm on a
Spartan
deload
status.
week, but I'm in.
Bring the puke buckets, bro. Bring change of clothes. Bring
Everything.
a stretcher.
Yo, Mike
Yeah.
will tell you. One time, me, him, and Johnny Sharif did a leg workout from Milos on Mike's program, and that was probably the craziest workout I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, you've never
Jesus,
stopped
yeah.
talking about it to this day. So
It was
I don't-
fucked up. It was
I
so
don't fuck
fucked
around
up.
with the leg
it must-
workouts.
it must have been.
I
You
I
still
don't
talk
play with the
about
leg
it to this
workouts.
day.
All
Yeah.
right, what do we got?
All right, so for the first question, it comes from Jay
From
Stevens.
Amer Army? Is it from the Amer Army?
He's from the
Amer
Hammer
Army.
Army. So Jace
Jay.
asks, how many years did you put into Hammer Fitness before it started to take off? And what was your aha moment when you realized something major that would contribute to the success of the business? So it's kind of like a 2-part question.
Yeah, I think the last probably 3 years was more of a tipping point in my business, but I put more time into getting to that tipping point than anything. It took me probably 4 years before that to even reach that point. So there's, I was doing a lot of free stuff. I was filming a lot of content. I was just doing a lot of free work. I was doing a lot of writing. I was just learning. There was so much that was going into it before I even got to the point where I was making any money, So it wasn't up until 2.5, 3 years ago where I started to see more of the fruits of my labor, and I'm not basing that just on money because my goal is not money. If my goal was money, I would just train people all day. That's not my goal.
Yeah.
My goal is growth. So for me, I measure it that way. But I needed also to be mature enough, emotionally mature enough to understand and to be able to handle my own business, and because I think a lot of times we think we deserve more than we do, but we're just not ready for it. So, the moment where I realized okay, it's kind of like you build on your beliefs through having some success, when you have some, when you turn pro, you guys turn pro, you start to believe in yourself a bit more. You're like, okay, you know what? Maybe I am actually pretty good at this.
Until you hit the pro stage and you're like, damn, maybe I need more work.
I haven't had my dreams crushed yet. I'm still on cloud 9.
It'll come.
But
Such
now
a reality.
the formula, and you know that, okay,
Yeah.
I just got to do the same thing here. It's maybe just a bigger gap, but I could do it again. I've done it. I
Right.
look at people
Yes.
I meet,
Right. Yeah.
So that's why it's so important that there's a book, I believe it's a book called Make Your Bed, and what it's about is just often in life, what we try to do is we try to tackle big things, and I don't believe in that. And that's actually the point I was trying to make in my video, or something similar to that. Cause that's, the belief that I hold in my life. It's
I'm going to put the link to that video in the
just
description.
do little things, and if you do little things over and over, you will start to do bigger things in life. And sometimes people will say this, oh, I want to drop 30 pounds in 6 weeks. I'm like, man, you haven't dropped a pound in 10 years. Why do you?
Yo, this is what we're talking about.
Why do you care to do, 30 pounds in 6 weeks? You'd be happier if you were just a pound less than you are now. So why do you have to go so extreme? Because you're going to end up losing it all. Or you're going to end up not having the confidence because you're not going to get it. You're not going to achieve it, and it's going to destroy you. So, make your bed every day. If you can't make $100,000, just start with making your bed, and then start with washing your dishes, and then start with, doing all the little things right first, man. We always want to, get to the point where we're achieving a lot of things, but we don't even have the character to follow through and achieve something really small in our lives. You don't have it in you to get up every day and follow through on the little things. How do you think you're going to follow through on the big things? That's a reflection of who you are as a person.
There's another book that I read.
Wow.
It's called Atomic Habits. Amer, I don't know if you've heard of that book before, but it kind of ties into exactly what you were saying. Just building a routine and doing the small things to really help you with the bigger picture, if you will.
Did they make you read that book in high school?
Yeah, I graduated.
That's what we do on this show.
I graduated high school last year. So.
When all else fails, we just make fun of Branden and we get laughs. So we roll,
if it gets
we roll on to the
silent,
next
just
topic.
just pitch a lob that way. Yeah,
Pitch a lob that way.
Okay, I got the next question here, and it's from R_Phillips, and he says, so similar to Jay Stevens' question, but slightly different. He says, what was your aha moment, more so for the success of the business, My question is, when was your aha moment for you? So when did you realize that you were great or you could achieve greatness? When did you say, fuck, I have some serious gifts that need to be used?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
That was a good question.
It is a good question. I think that, like, I don't really think I have serious gifts, you know, like I don't look at my life and, you know, I think sometimes when we say someone's a genetic freak, it's, even in bodybuilding, I think that's kind of an insult sometimes, you know, it may take away from how hard they actually work. Cause I don't know how hard you guys work. You know, you may work 10 times harder than me at the same goal. And then I'm completely dismissing how hard you work by saying you're a genetic freak. Right.
Right.
So, you know, I don't think of myself as having all these amazing gifts. I think I just try really hard. And as a result, you know, whether you call it a gift or whether it just, you know, good things happen. But again, similar to what I said before, I think that, you know, from a young age, I knew that if I apply myself to something that I can be successful at it. You know, although I grew up poor, that's one thing my mom always instilled in me from a very young age. It's like, you could do anything. And I believe that was the most, like, over giving me money or providing me any of those things. Like, having someone believe in you was the most important thing for me. And having someone, you know, that tells me I could do anything. I think that's the best gift you can ever give your kids. So I've always felt like I can do anything I want to. The key is that I want to do it, you know, and that's why I don't do things when I don't really want to do them, because I'm only going to destroy my own emotional state by, like, just showing up and going through the motions and being successful at it. It's just going to break me, you know?
Are you always so fucking motivated, bro? Like, I feel motivated just listening to you.
Bro.
Honestly, Jesus Christ.
I'm very rarely motivated, to be quite honest.
I was actually just talking to my wife about it earlier. I said, like, he posts a lot of the stuff that people want to see, you know, like I need to do more of that. Like, people really got attached to my good mornings on my IG stories, but you kind of do the same thing, like, on your page. Like, you're always posting, like, little short videos, just motivational pick-me-ups. And I kind of made mention to this in my video. I said, you know, we do this to kind of, like, pick ourselves up too, but it's advice that we know other people need as well. So it's great that we're sharing it, you know?
Yeah. And even to go back to what you just said, man, like, a lot of the things that I'm able to accomplish have very little to do with me feeling motivated. You know, like, I'm probably motivated 10% of the time, but my routine and my structure, which I'm able to make conscious choices to create, are what keep me afloat. Like, and that's my success.
Notes. If you're listening to the audio, here's where you pause and write that shit down.
Fail, to be honest with you, sometimes the motivation could reflect in your daily routine, and the daily routine slips, and it's just a downhill battle from there.
Yeah,
it's the choices that you decide to make that essentially make you successful.
So, dude, do I get an invite to your cult, or do I got to sign up somewhere? Because I'm in.
He's a Mason. He's a Freemason. Let me see your right hand.
That's funny.
But right, I mean, I'm starting to understand why people are so, like, die hard and respect the mindset.
It's infectious.
It's crazy.
It's infectious,
it is.
And it's important because I feel like this is one thing that they don't teach in school. Branden will tell you, he just left school, and they don't teach you to be motivated. They don't teach you that you have to push. They don't teach you that some days you're not going to be motivated. I had someone message me the other day. He just said, Jay, man, like, you're killing it. You make it look easy. Like, you're working, you're doing this, you're doing that. And I'm like, dude, I fucking struggle every day. Every day.
We all struggle and suffer, man. Every human.
Exactly. You just got to push. I think this is great. I love this show because right now we have one of the most motivational speakers on IG in Canada. And he's telling us every day he's not motivated. People need to hear this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
you're relatable.
They see one side of it.
Yeah.
But they don't see this side.
Behind the scenes. This is like a behind the scenes, right?
So I think it's definitely going to provide people with a different kind of perspective on things, for sure,
on themselves and on how they go about their daily lives. You know, I have a client that comes to mind right now, and he just kind of doing the same thing over and over, even though I'm giving him a lot of suggestions on where to change it. I hate to
Branden?
be dictator. No, Branden's a fucking robot. He's like Green was saying, you know, spoon or fork, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
eat shit off the floor.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, I don't want to carry on. What's the next question we got, B? I'm buying you a fucking camera stand.
Can you guys still hear me?
I'm gonna put a commercial right over there and be like, "Yo, we need
You
to
guys
buy
still hear me?
Branden a
Yeah,
camera
yeah,
stand."
we got you, B.
Okay, because I took my headphones out because my phone battery is dying. Okay, so the next question comes from It's Brandon Clark, and he asks, "Is it wrong to think your coach needs to be in the best physical shape to yield the best results? If this is
That's
the
a
case,
jab at me, eh?
can you please discuss this?"
Yo, that's cool. I like it. Bring it.
I say yes, it's wrong to think
Honey
that, for sure.
Rombot is the fucking Phsyique coach, and he looks like a fucking tire.
I also think
Yeah.
that logic. See, with the way I approach, competition prep, why I don't coach bodybuilders, I think there are a lot of similarities in certain categories, right? I think figure, bikini, and classic physique have a lot of similarities in terms of what they're looking for from an artistic standpoint, like the proportions, the shape, the symmetry, the condition. It's very similar. And that's why it's very difficult to go from coaching bodybuilder back to classic physique. It's very rare that you see a bodybuilding coach that's also very good at classic physique. There are obviously outliers, but it's rare. Or even bodybuilding and bikini. It's very rare. So there are a lot of similarities in certain categories. So by that logic, though, if you had to, if the coach had to be that good, well, then that means no guy should ever coach bikini.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, and some of the best bikini coaches are guys.
See,
And they look like shit.
Yeah.
here's why I don't get that people say that. The reason why I don't get why people say that is the best basketball coach going to be the best basketball player? Or is the best NFL coach going to be the best NFL player? I don't think so,
No. And it doesn't mean you can't be an amazing athlete and an amazing coach. We need to stop, and this is what we do in life. We put a lot of rules on things, if you're good at this, you can't be good at that. You can't, there's outliers in everything that there is in life. So there could be great bikini coaches that are women and great bodybuilding coaches that are women. Maybe it doesn't happen as frequently, but it doesn't mean it can't happen.
Absolutely.
There are exceptions to every rule. There's just way too many rules, and there's way too many linear way of thinking that we have as humans. So I don't think that matters. I do think what matters, though, that's important for a coach is that a coach understands the mindset, that's relatable in the mindset. And that doesn't even mean that I had to have done a show before. It just means that I need to understand what it takes from a mental standpoint. And then obviously your clients have to respect you to follow through on that. And those are the two most important variables. Like my clients don't even know the shape I was in when I was competing anyways, like the people that I coach, because now my business is more based on he's a good coach because of the results he produces.
Right.
Maybe
regardless of his current state.
Yeah.
Maybe at the beginning when you start coaching, it's important because then that's how you build trust with people. Yeah, but eventually it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, your reputation now doesn't
even. Yeah. Once you have that kind of reputation that you have, it doesn't even.
You could be in a wheelchair,
anymore.
bro, with fucking no legs. It doesn't matter. They know he gets the job done.
Even when they do videos and people ask, how do you look for a coach? Just from anyone, anytime you see a video that says, how do you look for a coach? They always say, look at the people that they've coached. Yeah. Look at the results that they've gotten. So that's a perfect example.
For sure.
All right. I actually have something pretty funny here. So Flex Chambers asks, it's not really, it is a question. He says,
did I do that on live? I might have to edit that out.
What kind of fatality are you going to finish Jay Elite off with?
Actually, you guys know Flex. I thought he was meant, or he was meaning fertility when he wrote it. I thought he spelt it wrong. Fatality.
Yeah, it's a good assumption that he spelled it wrong.
Says, but I'm
right or wrong. I saw it quick.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do it theoretically. All right, I'll give you first take. I'll flinch with a front snap. What's your move?
I'm better at wrestling. You're going to the ground.
All right, I'm going to the ground. Okay, let's do it.
I was hoping to see an uppercut.
I've been studying jiu-jitsu for the last 12 years. Not personally. I put my son in jiu-jitsu and sit on the bleachers and watch, but I learn a lot.
There's a lot of similarities with jiu-jitsu and wrestling too.
Yeah. All right, what else do we got? We got any real questions from some sensible people?
So, you
am I editing now? I'm not editing shit out, yo.
Kind of touched on this one before, but to answer it again, I guess. So, what inspired you to write Unmasked and Unmasked, and what is it about mainly?
Yeah, so I already spoke about, as you said, what inspired me to write it.
That's the title of the book, Unmasked?
Yeah.
So the title comes from just like the different layers of me and evolving as a person. And also, so it's a double meaning. It's that. And then it's also, as you unravel layers of yourself, you get closer to the meaning and the truth of life, you know? And as you get closer to the truth of life, and the truth of yourself as a person, you're less affected by things, you know, because often I think one of the biggest problems with many humans is they're so out of touch with their own thoughts and their own emotions. Like, we can control our thoughts. Like, I can talk to myself to control my thoughts, but people don't even do that. They're just in autopilot all day.
Yeah.
You know, like, why do you go and wait 2 days for an iPhone in a line? Like, is there any logic in that? Do you really care about it? It's like you influenced in some sort of way or manipulated in some sort of way that makes you feel a certain way that you need that. But do you break it down logically and understand yourself? You would realize a lot of the things you do in life, a lot of the reasons you're affected by things in life are not even true to yourself. And the reason you don't know that is because you aren't true to yourself, because you don't know yourself.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah, that was a really good way to make sense of that.
You're a deep dude, Amer.
Very.
Have you always had that kind of personality, or is it something that
Brandon needs to stand in line for a new phone?
That's a message Brandon got after this.
No, because what's happening is it keeps saying low battery. That's why. But have you always had that kind of personality, or is it something that kind of like grew on you?
He evolved, brother.
Look, I've never had friends in my life, to be honest with you. Like, people think, and that's what I was saying, people think I'm very extroverted or have a lot of friends. I'm not, you know, in high school, for example, there's like, you know, the white guys are together, the brown guys are together, the black guys are together.
Where'd you go to school? Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Woburn. I got expelled, and then I went
in the city.
Yeah, Scarborough.
Yeah.
How'd you get expelled?
Fighting.
Fucking Jamaicans.
Ironically enough.
Fucking Jamaicans.
My God.
Yeah, so I've always been just like to myself, and you know, like, I've never been to prom, I've never been to my graduation. I went to school for architecture. I never went to graduation. I've never even been to, like, you know, those trips you go on in school. I just never had a desire. I was always, you know, very into myself, like introverted, and you know.
I would have never known that. I would have never thought that, man.
Yeah, based off.
You seem very social.
Like, based off everything you see online, you would have never guessed that.
No, we got to get together, man. We got to all hook up and train or something. Yeah, we're coming down to your gym. I'm tired of training in my basement.
We'll put Elite through a real back workout.
Oh, fuck this guy.
We're gonna throw in some clusters.
I train under John Meadows. Are you mad, guy?
We're gonna kill him.
Me every week.
That's gonna be my goal, Jay. You're gonna be limping off a back workout, brother.
All right. All right. What do we got?
So we got another one here. It's kind of like a pretty vague question, but I can kind of add my own twist on it. So it's Brandon Clark asks at Amer the Hammer, talk about trophies. So I was just wondering myself, actually, to add on to that, how many people have you turned pro?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Probably about like 14, 15 pro cards.
Nice.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Were the majority of those bikini?
No.
Classic
or men's physique?
Between him,
five in classic. Bikini, bodybuilding, fitness. I've done it in a lot of categories now, like men's physique. So I've done it in all those different categories. Several men's pros.
See, my question is, how the fuck did you get Tyler Johnson to make weight?
Yeah, that was actually very difficult, man. And he, for the last 4 weeks, he was very, very close to being natural, just because he kept going up. You know, but he's also a very he's a very disciplined athlete. You know, he's a very hardworking athlete, and he knows his body as well. You know, so like when you're working with someone that knows their body, you also as a coach put trust in where they're at and what the feedback they're giving you too.
Right.
This question came up actually just on Fuad's podcast I was watching. Do you think an athlete like that, like Tyler, do you think eventually that they would eventually get their pro card no matter what, not to discredit you at all? Obviously you've got 14 pro cards, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that they would eventually get there. Yeah.
With the right guidance.
With the right guidance.
But also I think, you know, people misinterpret what my job is.
Because it's a mental thing too. A lot of it is a lot of people may have the genetics, but they don't have the mental capacity to hang to it.
Like,
and then there are people who can work really hard and have the mental capacity. They'll get there no matter what.
Like why Tyler has me is because he trusts that I understand the look that the judges want.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm very good at understanding the look and fine-tuning a physique to make it look that way. Otherwise, he doesn't need me for any other thing. He has knowledge, he has resources, he has the work ethic. So he's just putting the trust in me as from an objective point of view that like I can make take 100 different variables and calculate the best decision about what he should look like. And that's
basically like a second pair of eyes.
And
I totally get that.
Actually really good. That's the best thing. So when people come to me, and some people may think I'm not a great coach because they're looking for other things. I'm very good at taking you from that like 80-90% and making you look that much better. But I'm not going to teach you all the little details about things. That's not my job as a coach. Just to tweak and fine tune.
I think when you're dealing with like really good athletes and high level athletes, it always comes down to that. Like I don't think Phil's texting Hani like, "What should I eat this time? I don't have rice. Should I eat potatoes?" Like they're there for the fine, minute details. Like even me working with a coach right now, like I pay them full price, but I don't need them for everything.
Yeah,
like, I just need them for a couple things. Yeah.
And people don't understand that. They're like, why do you need a coach? If you are a coach, it has nothing to do with that, man. And it's like, that's what I'm extremely good at as a coach. That's the best thing. That's the best tool. And if you're not coming to me for that tool, you're going to be disappointed.
Dude, the most surprising, Branden.
No, Mike, you've been waiting.
What I was going to say is,
I've been patient this episode.
Do you prefer coaching people who need a lot of guidance and having more of a say in what they do, or do you prefer on coaching people who kind of have that already and just you're there as just to provide them with a second pair of eyes kind of thing?
Honestly, man, like I said, I don't do it for the money, so I'm very, very honest. Like if you think you know better, just do it yourself. Like if
I'll hire someone else.
Yeah, don't waste my time.
Sir, I want to be leaner. Like, yeah, you failed because you want to be leaner. Like, I know what the judges want. It's not even what I want. It's the way you look is not the way I want you to look. It's what I know the judges want you to look.
Right. Okay, so now for my question. Hold up.
No, you got to give Mike a chance.
Okay.
He's been so patient.
Yeah. Okay,
bad, Mike.
So Amer, something that really surprised me was when Paoulo Almedia.
I was gonna ask about Paoulo. Fuck you. Yeah, I want to say that.
Well, because I'm asking because like I competed with Paoulo several times. He beat me by 1 point in Vancouver the last time we competed. The last time I competed with him. But you really did help step up his physique. I don't know who he was with prior to you.
It was with Matt Porter.
Okay,
and Matt's like a well-renowned coach, man.
Yeah, but it really surprised me that of all people, he decided to put his, future in his career at the time in your hands. Because I know you're a great coach, but I didn't know the experience you had with bodybuilders. So I knew at that point there had to have been something. And then I kind of just let time go and I let the results speak for themselves. And he looked like a lot tighter and sharper and
fuller.
I mean, was that like a first time for you that you really dealt with a IFBB Pro bodybuilder?
And before you get into that, how did you meet? How did you guys get into working?
I was gonna ask that as well.
Some like a mutual friend told him he should work with me, and then he started following me, and he was like kind of like just messaging, like DMing me, like talking, just basic conversation.
Picking your brain.
Yeah,
like just feeling it out. So that's how it started, but. It wasn't normal for him to work with me. Like, it's just not.
But he obviously saw something in you, like this dude has got what it takes to make me better.
And I think what happens with pros, and this is doesn't happen with me, is that a lot of coaches idolize their clients, so they kind of put their clients on a pedestal in the sense where like, especially if like I was a bodybuilder, and now I have a client who's like going to go to the Olympia or about to win a pro show. I'm like, holy shit, like your eyes light up. Where I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about any of this, to be honest. Like, I have a mission,
which is good.
Yeah. I don't I'm not emotionally tied to any of this stuff. Like you got to be leaner. Like he would hate me. I would tell him all the time, like, buddy, you're not. He would literally send me pictures.
He was huge, but I felt like that was always his downfall.
He would send me pictures, and then I wouldn't reply, and he'd message me like, "Oh, I guess you're not impressed." I'm like, "Of course I'm not impressed." You know, that's how we have conversations. You know, he's like, "Oh, I'll do better." You know, which then led me to believe that, like, you know, the way he was coached probably before was like he
You look great, man. Every week, you look great. Yeah. You look
that's not good.
Awesome. You're huge.
That's not good.
Yeah, you never want to guess,
keep it real. Yeah, you need someone to keep it real.
And that's why like, coaching style may not be for everyone, because I'm just, you know, direct. And it's like, it's not me. I don't care if you're leaner or not leaner. It's not me personally. I'm just telling you, you're here. The goal is here. This is where you need to be. Get there. You know.
See, and this is perfect, because remember at the end of my video, I was like, "Yo, bro, if you need someone, you can like message me and we can work." That's all I was saying, because I know you know your shit, and I know you know how to get into shape. But maybe all your friends are just kind of like, "Amer, you're the greatest." You know, maybe you need someone to just say, "Yo, Amer, come on, we can like let's pull it together."
Someone to drop the hammer on him.
I always say that.
Yeah.
Like for me. I need someone that like doesn't give a shit, and they're like, "Buddy, fuck you, you suck."
Yeah, like that's not Amer. I need to see the old Amer. Yeah.
Hey,
not
look,
there yet.
I'm gonna be honest. I told you, man. Like after you made that, I'm like, man. At first, I was like, "Fuck this guy," and then I was like,
"Yo, like a regular Jamaican. That's how a Jamaican would respond."
Fuck this guy.
I'm gonna get credit, piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Awesome.
All right, B. What else we got?
So those are pretty much the main ones. But do you guys have any other questions for him?
Yeah. So, Amer, when did you start? Like,
you know, this is our like world's longest podcast so far.
Who gives a shit?
Been no, but I mean, it's been good. Like, it hasn't felt slow at all. Like, everything's been flowing.
Amer, before you go, I just wanted to ask in regards to Paoulo again. What show did you guys start at? Was it 2017 Toronto Pro?
No, he started at the first show we did together was Chicago Pro, I believe.
Was it in 2017 though?
2016.
Oh, so the year before you guys were already going at it.
Yeah, his last show. So we did 2016 Toronto Pro. 2016 Chicago, which was only a few weeks together. Then we did 2016 Vancouver Pro. Wasn't that the one?
Yeah. Well, he also did Muscle Mayhem in 2016. Oh, that was 2017?
In Asia, right?
No. That's the Chad Nichols show in Kansas.
Do you work Mayhem? Do you work with any?
Hold on, Jay, hold up.
Yeah, because he did the Vancouver twice, so the 2 years back to back. But I think his best placing was, did he get third or fourth at Toronto?
He got third.
Third, I think.
He got third. Yeah, he got third.
Yeah, he had a medal. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He
got a paycheck. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Nice, man. That's good. That's good.
Look, I'll tell you a story. Quick. So he called me and he's like, "Man, I don't know why my weight went up like 10 pounds, whatever. It was like high." And I said to myself, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? So I went to his room and I'm looking around and I'm like trying to understand, like, how did your weight go up, man? Like, what did you do? And I'm looking around and I see a protein shaker cup. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, "Oh, pop." I'm like,
oh my God.
What do you mean pop? He's like, "Well, I got hungry." He's like, "I got hungry. I had to have something."
Oh my God. Was it diet pop or was it like he had like regular pop?
Think so. I think it was regular pop.
Yeah. It must have been, man. It must have been.
Fuck.
Or he would have just pissed it out. Do you find that, like, do you work with a lot of American people? Or I know Paulo's not American, but he had a lot of American exposure with like the 5% and stuff like that.
Most of my clients are bikini girls now, and I have a lot of Americans, or like a lot relative to how many I have,
That's cool.
Branden, you sure you read all the questions?
Yeah, those are pretty much the main questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Man, yo, Amer, I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah,
we
man,
don't want I don't want them to find any more questions to keep you on. I'd rather have you on again another time.
Yeah, I would love
to.
We
definitely want to come down and train.
You coming on.
Yeah, that'd be wicked. And
we gotta keep in touch
because we've been really trying to hammer through the top of the CPA. I know you saw that we had Jason on, and we have episode coming on with Sean and Andrew from T-Rex coming up. So I really appreciate you coming on. And we're going to have our first athlete coach coming on with Jose Raymond. And then we got to have our live Taekwondo battle on IG. So
we'll be placing bets on the side.
Yeah. So really appreciate you, man. And really
thanks,
appreciate
Amer.
you starting up the show with us and on the beginning stages.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Respect.
Good, man.
All right, stay
Okay,
safe, brother. Have a good
All the
day.
best.
Care.
Supplements designed by an IFBB Pro, holistic nutritionist and veteran. Our 360 quality assurance system ensures you get fully dosed supplements that work. Whether your goal is to build muscle, burn fat, enhance strength, or extend endurance, we've got what you need. This is an army of iron warriors. This is the AG Army. Join us and wage war on your genetics. AGArmy.com. Field tested, science proven, advanced genetics.